Coming up on the Lakeside Loop, Mr. Dorn's anatomy class takes a field trip to see cadavers at Wisconsin Lutheran College. We take you behind the scenes of this year's musical, School of Rock.
The Loop starts now. Welcome back to the Lakeside Loop. I'm Jonah Osmankowski.
And I'm Logan Wenzel. Last Thursday, the anatomy class took a field trip to Wisconsin Lutheran College to see cadavers. Maya Hemling tells us all about it.
We set off for WLC to see their cadaver lab, and when we got there, we had a brief meeting and they just kind of told us about what went into becoming cadaver, donating your body to science, and like all the ethical practices that go into that. There was 2 cadavers, so there's one group at each cadaver. One was looking at like the muscular systems and one was looking more at like the internal organs. And then the third group got to experiment with, they call it an anatomage table, which is basically a giant like virtual cadaver that you could look at and play with and manipulate, and you could also look at different like dogs and cats and animals and pretty much anything you could really think of they had on that thing. So that was really, really cool to see and experiment with. It was really, so when you're looking at an anatomy textbook, there's red and blue and colored, but when you're like looking at the body, it's cool to see like how you can tell like this is a different texture, this is this shape, and that was really, really cool, and I loved being able to apply what I had learned in the classroom with what was actually on the table. So I really enjoyed the fact that they had already dissected the brain and some lungs, so you could go in and like pick up the brain, pick up the lungs, compare with the 2 cadavers. So that was really interesting because even though it's like one body designed by God, they're all totally different, and it was so cool to see.
Thanks to WLC for letting them visit.
Lakeside's annual grand event was this past Saturday. This was a silent auction that raises money for various events at Lakeside.
The Grand Event is our annual fundraiser. It was started about 11 years ago here at Lakeside. Its primary focus is obviously to raise money for the school, but it's also a very important fellowship event where we gather together past, present, and sometimes future warrior families for an evening of socialization and realizing the importance of Christian education. It's always a huge variety of items. We have sports collectibles, gift baskets, which I think are pretty typical, but this year we had a stand-up paddleboard. We always have various generous donations from our farmers. We have half hogs, we have ground beef. So the students get to be involved in a variety of ways. They help do things like cut papers, prepare documents that we need for the evening, help get packages together. One of our students made the beautiful balloon arch that is behind me. And then the day of the event is when we get our most volunteers as far from the student body is concerned. We had probably about a dozen kids playing piano. We had over 30 kids volunteering at the event in various capacities. The primary one is for them to interact with attendees and try to get them to donate money to a cause that's particularly close to them, whether it's an Operation Go trip or they wanted to get new equipment for the weight room. Ultimately, the money that is raised, so there are certain designations at the event, like I mentioned, Operation Go, whatever they raise through their students goes directly to them. And there's always a few infusers, we call them, like that. But then a good portion of the money goes to student assistance. And a lot of the money also goes to non-budgeted items, that just make life here at Lakeside even a little bit sweeter for our kids. Everybody that donated and volunteered, it's like the widow's mite. What you think maybe isn't a huge thing that you've donated, or you think that the one period that a student maybe volunteered during the week isn't a big thing. If all those little things don't happen, then we don't ever get to the culmination that is Grand Event, and we don't ever get to the point where we're raising tens of thousands of dollars. Once all our expenses are done, prayerfully we'll be exceeding the $80,000 mark this year, money that was raised for Christian education.
Thank you to everyone who attended and helped out.
Lakeside's FFA dairy judging team competed virtually last Friday out of 69 teams in Wisconsin.
There was a group of 4 of us that went online and judged. We were all separately, so it was all individually, and we judged these dairy cattle based on how they looked, ranging from their udder, which is the main thing. It's worth 40 points on what we call our scorecard. And then we look at their frame, their feet and legs, just how their general appearance is. It's mainly like who looks the stylish, we like to say. That's correct, they are show dairy animals. I was in the top 4 individuals. I am qualified to move on to state this in 2 weeks. I, for instance, am a big show cattle person, and we take our show cows out to different shows, and then we are placed on how they look, and then we receive different amounts of money back for how we place. Well, I put in a lot of work, many hours over the summer. I put in over 700 hours this past summer just for my show animals. And that's really what's helped me to exceed in judging them, is just working with them every single day and having the different opportunities that I do going to all these shows. I enjoy the people mostly. I love the contest, the feeling of the suspense of how you're gonna do, and it's just really enjoyable for me to look at dairy cows, and it makes me feel in my place.
Although not making the top 20 teams, Elizabeth Gunst placed in the top 4 in Wisconsin. She'll compete in Madison at the State FFA Dairy Judging Contest. Congratulations!
With all the rain recently, it has been difficult for the baseball team to have their games.
So the first part of the season was really rough. I don't think we've had a single practice outside, and all of our practices have been inside doing grounders on the gym floor, batting in the wrestling room, and it's just been really hard getting outside recently. And there was this one game against Cambridge where we had to play in the snow, and it was pouring snow, and the mound was getting all muddy and the infield was muddy, and it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience for me because I've never played baseball in the snow. Monday was a nice break from the cold, windy, rainy weather. It was nice, sunny, maybe 60 degrees, and it's just a really good day for baseball. But the game itself, however, we lost 2-0 to a really good River Valley team, and we just couldn't get the bats going offensively, although we did have a really good defensive game, pitching-wise. Yesterday, we were at Poinet. That was our first conference game, and we won 14-2. Right now, I think our strengths are defense, pitching, outfielding, and infielding. I feel like we have a lot to learn, like situational-wise. Like we can be smarter when we play, but I feel like right now we're good skill-wise defensively. I like how you can bond with your teammates, and I like the fact that when you're not playing, you can be in the dugout eating sunflower seeds and joking with your teammates and stuff like that.
We hope that you continue to have a great season.
Since January, the cast of Lakeside's production of School of Rock has been working hard to prepare their upcoming shows at the end of this month.
So School of Rock is about a middle-aged musician who is hard on his luck, and he can't pay the rent.
He takes advantage of you, he's rude to me, and it's time he paid some rent. Wake up, Dewey! Time to get up!
What? It's you? What'd you wake me up for?
The rent.
That's what you woke me up for?
Yes. We woke you up for that.
I'm so sick and tired of being the guy everyone comes to for the money I owe them. Sell his guitar? No, he wouldn't.
Oh, my goodness. You're an idiot.
What? No! I created no vacancy.
You brought the band together, but now the band wants you out. It's okay, Dewey. We're all something that you're not.
What?
Handsome.
Thanks for that, Doug. What? You guys have forgotten about music. Forget you. I don't need any of you.
So once he gets kicked out of his band, he decides to steal his friend's phone call, which his friend should have been taking because his friend is a substitute teacher, and he goes to be a substitute teacher for these kids at a private, expensive school.
Here at Horace Green, we take top honors, crush our rivals, where the best will count. There's no in between. We get results here for the alums who put us down.
Here at Horace Green, we march in lockstep, ever upward, destined to achieve.
I'm your tutor today, so I'm gonna start on the teaching cupola tomorrow. Right now we're gonna do a recess. Now go, leave me alone.
Eventually, he discovers that these students, they play music, and he can use them to compete in the Battle of the Bands, and that is super exciting for him.
Why did no one tell me you guys could play music? I had the instruments, they were just in my van. I just didn't know I had the players. Means I'm not alone. I'm not alone.
Does that mean no more recess?
I'll tell you what it means. It means we can finally compete in the battle of the bands. Keep on rocking these notes with the rhythm of blue. Grab your snap on the road. Don't forget to emote. And that's all that you wrote. Baby, you're in the band.
I am Freddie Hamilton. I'm the drummer of the Horace Green School of Rock band.
You're in the band.
My favorite part about Drama Club is the tightly knit family that we've become. Specifically, Drama Club has brought me so close to a group of people I would have never ever talked to before. And I've really met a lot of cool Christian brothers and sisters. This is the funniest musical you will ever watch, and I can guarantee that. It is a lot of modern humor, a lot of kids humor, a lot of adult humor too, and it's just a great combination for anybody who's willing to come watch an awesome play.
Tickets are now on sale. Reserved floor seats are $12 and general admission bleacher seats are $5.
With Holy Week coming to an end, Lakeside students are preparing to celebrate Easter. One way they're celebrating is the Easter concert. Easter is extremely important to us, so we're glad that we can share that Christ has risen with everyone that we can. And now, it's teacher time.
Teacher time with Joshua Bidorf.
Hey Doc, how's it going? You know, this teacher time thing that I've been doing lately, it's been getting pretty stressful. This Jonas Minkowski guy, he's posting impossible standards on my work, and it just feels like I can't get anything done. This teacher time thing, it's just too much sometimes. You know?
Trust me, I would know.
With Mathia Lenz.
My name is Joshua Bidorf, and I would consider myself a very religious guy. I've mastered all of John 3:16 and know my way around the Bible.
I went on a trek to master the Bible and was taken by apprentice by Pastor Helwig. And I feel as though someone were to knock Josh down a few pegs about frequently boasting about his biblical intellect.
But this segment is not about the ensuing rap battle that took place, but rather the man whose pastoral career has led him through parish services, Lakeside Lutheran, and eventually into a career of psychology, Pastor Helwig.
Or better known as PH.
So what do you want to know, Josh?
If you were a Pop-Tart, which flavor would you be?
Red raspberry.
How was your day?
Today kind of dragged on. It was Tuesday took forever, kind of a long day. But nothing bad happened.
What is the secret to being loved by all students?
You have to care about everything, and you have to be objective, and you have to be empathetic, and you can't play favorites.
Hey PH, explain Revelation in 30 seconds.
Jesus wins the victory. Everything else is all circumference, picture, image, language. There's a devil, he's a bad guy. He doesn't win the war, Jesus does, and we all go to heaven.
What's your favorite song to sing?
We're actually singing it in chapel this week, Jerusalem the Golden.
What are your thoughts on leaving Lakeside?
I have mixed feelings. I have not seen myself as the guy that's leaving because there's so many things yet to do and I want to do them well.
What is your favorite thing about teaching? The
kids, being with the students, hands down.
What do you think about this gift basket?
This will go good with my trip to St. Thomas Island. This is really, really wild and free. And a towel, and LeBron James, and a hat. I mean, who wouldn't want to wear this? And what is this, Dark Shadows, Dark Vanessa? and cookies and a movie and barbecue sauce. Look at this, barbecue sauce. It's fantastic. I can put barbecue sauce on my Oreo cookies when I'm watching Meet the People movie. That's awesome. That's wonderful. Thank you. You're all very too kind.
And now, you're in the loop. I'm Jonah Osmankowski.
And I'm Logan Wenzel. We leave you with some footage of the freshman PE classes roller skating.